We have reached almost the final part of the chapter. So the next topic is seed. What is seed? It is the final product of sexual reproduction. You can call it as fertilized ovule. And where do you find the seeds? You find it inside the fruit. So what is a seed made up of? So it will have a seed coat, cotyledon and embryo. And what are cotyledon? They are thick swollen structures जिसमें food reserve होते हैं. So when the plant germinates, it has enough food reserve. Generally you can see it very clearly in legumes. Now there can be two kinds of seeds, albuminous and non-albuminous. What do you mean by them? So when endosperm is not left, there is no residual endosperm left because it is completely consumed during embryo development. It is known as non-albuminous seed. Examples being pea, groundnut, sunflower. And in albuminous seeds, some part of endosperm is retained because it is not completely used during embryo development. So wheat, maize, barley, castor do retain some part of endosperm. In some seeds, nucellus is also persistent. So that persistent nucellus is known as perisperm, and perisperm is found in black pepper and wheat. Let us again have a look at an ovule so that you again recall what are the structures we are talking about. So if you see here, inner integument and outer integument, both these structures, they will harden and they will become seed coat. So integuments harden to become a seed coat, and they are tough protective structures which will protect the embryo. Another structure is micropyle. So this is your micropyle, and what is the function of micropyle? It is a small pore in the seed coat through which entry of water, oxygen, etc. can take place during germination. And why it can enter? Because at this particular place sporopollenin is absent. Now what happens when the seed matures? I also need to show you nucellus. So nucellus is the tissue surrounding embryo sac which will provide nutrition to embryo, and it is generally used completely before the seed formation takes place. If it persists, it is known as perisperm. Okay. Now once the seed is produced and it is matured, what do you mean by maturation of seed? Maturation of seed means water content should now go down. Now it retains only 10 to 15% moisture by mass. What happens when water content is less? The metabolic activity slows down, because for metabolic activity you require enzymes. Enzymes work only in aqueous medium. That is the same reason कि आपके लिए डिहाइड्रेशन क्यों इतना फेटल है, बिकॉज अगर आपकी बॉडी में मॉइस्चर नहीं रहेगा, डिहाइड्रेशन हो जाएगा, आपकी सारी मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटीज स्लो डाउन हो जाएगी. सीड हाउएवर रिमेन्स अलाइव इवन इन दिस कंडीशन. It enters a state which is known as dormancy. So the state of inactivity where all metabolic activity slow down is known as dormancy. And whenever favorable conditions are there, the seed will germinate. कौन सी favorable condition? Moisture होना चाहिए, oxygen होना चाहिए, and the temperature should be appropriate for germination. Now, after fertilization, ovule becomes seed and ovary becomes fruit. और ये सब साथ साथ में होता जाता है. Seed और fruit साथ में develop होते हैं. और फ्रूट के आउटर वॉल को क्या बोलते हैं? पेरिकार्प. यू हैव स्टडीड इन 11th अबाउट एंडोकार्प, पेरिकार्प, मीजोकार्प एक्सेट्रा. सो एंड ईच फ्रूट विल हैव मैकेनिज्म फॉर डिस्पर्सल ऑफ सीड्स, क्योंकि ये सीड्स को डिस्पर्स करना पड़ेगा, कहीं और गिराना पड़ेगा, सो दैट दे कैन जर्मिनेट एंड दे कैन प्रोपगेट द प्लांट. फॉर डिस्पर्सल देर आर सेवरल मैकेनिज्म्स जैसे विंड, वाटर, एनिमल, ग्रेविटी, एक्सप्लोजन एक्सेट्रा. There are two kinds of fruits, dry and fleshy. So dry fruits के example हैं groundnut and mustard. Fleshy is guava, orange, mango, etc. You have studied this in 11th standard. Let us see certain seeds over here. So these are cotyledon, you can see seed coat and endosperm here, and then here you can see embryo with hypocotyle root tip and shoot apical meristem. This is a monocot seed where you can see scutellum, coleoptile, coleorhiza. Coleoptile, it protects plumule, coleorhiza protects radicle, and then it's an endospermic seed, so you have endosperm and pericarp too. Now the question is that जितने ovules हैं, like we know that ovule will get converted to ovary and ovules will get converted to seed and ovary will get converted to fruit. But कितने ovules होंगे? जितने fruits हैं उतने ही ovules होंगे क्या? जितने ovules हैं उतने ही seeds होंगे. So this depends upon the fertilization success. If fertilization success is perfect, तो जितने भी ovules थे वो सारे seeds में convert हो जाएंगे. So the ratio of number of seeds to number of ovules will be 1:1. But in natural conditions this doesn't happen. Some ovules always remain unfertilized and they don't develop into seed because fertilization success is not always 100%. Okay. Now most plants, the ovary develops into fruits. What happens to other floral parts जैसे petal, stigma, sepal, ये सब का क्या होगा? They degenerate and they fall off. So it is the ovary that will become fruit. पर कभी कभी thalamus develops into fruit, जिसका example है apple, strawberry, cashew, etc. So when a fruit is formed from ovary, उसको बोलेंगे true fruit after fertilization. But if the fruit is formed from any other part, not ovary, तो उसको हम बोलेंगे false fruit. Now generally false fruit or true fruit, they are developed only after fertilization. But कभी कभी fruits can develop without fertilization also. ऐसे fruits को बोलेंगे parthenocarpic fruits. So such fruits are induced by applying growth hormone and they are seedless. जिसका बहुत ही common example है banana. And now we are using parthenocarpy with many fruits like grapes, papaya, even you have this amrud, guava, which are seedless. So parthenocarpy helps you to get seedless fruits. Now we have studied that in angiosperm the result of sexual reproduction is seed. What are the advantages of having these seeds? तो एक तो ये है कि pollination and fertilization have now become independent of water. Water availability नहीं भी होगी तो भी pollination होगा, fertilization होगा, तो seed formation की ज़्यादा surety है. It is more dependable. और जो seeds होते हैं we have seen that they undergo a period of dormancy. So they have better adaptive strategies for dispersal also and for adapting the new habitats also as compared to the other modes of fertilization. जो hard seed coat है it will provide protection to young embryo, so वो ज़्यादा दिन तक viable रहेगा. Now seeds are produced due to sexual reproduction, so new combinations are possible leading to variations. Now these seeds are bases of our agriculture. India is an agro-based country, so our economy depends on it. तो सीड्स हमारे लिए बहुत काम की चीज़ है क्योंकि इनको दो चीज़ों के लिए हमको इस्तेमाल करना है. किसके लिए? वन, दे हैव टू बी यूज थ्रू आउट द ईयर टू फीड द मिलियन ऑफ पीपल एंड ऑल्सो वी नीड देम टू रेज द क्रॉप फॉर नेक्स्ट सीजन. तो इसको हमको संभाल के रखना है. मतलब जैसे ही सीड बना आफ्टर फर्टिलाइजेशन हम उसको तुरंत जर्मिनेट होने के लिए नहीं रखते हैं. वी हैव टू स्टोर देम. सो व्हेन यू हैव टू स्टोर देम there are two things important for maturation of seed. One is dehydration and the other is dormancy. So कब तक seed after dispersal of fruit viable रहेगा? क्योंकि जब तक वो viable रहेगा तभी तक वो germinate करके new plant produce करेगा. If the seed loses its viability तो आप उसको खा तो सकते हैं पर आप उससे नया plant नहीं उगा सकते हैं. So it is very necessary to know about its about its viability. So there are seeds, like there is a lot of variety as far as viability is concerned. Few seeds are viable for months, few for several years, and few are also viable for hundreds of years. Let us see two examples here. Lupine. Now lupine is the seed. I'm sorry, I need to show you one example, one diagram that I missed. This is the diagram of false fruit, apple, which develops from thalamus, and the other diagram is strawberry. Okay, we were talking about viability of seeds. So lupine, जिसका scientific name है Lupinus arcticus. It is the oldest seed which was excavated from Arctic tundra region, and it germinated and flowered even after 10,000 years of dormancy. तो 10,000 years तक भी उसका embryo was viable and capable of germinating. इसी तरह से date palm, खजूर, Phoenix dactylifera जिसका scientific name है, it was found during archaeological excavation at King Herod's place near Dead Sea. Now this seed was 2,000 years old. Now understand the multiplication that sexual reproduction can achieve by flowering plants in angiosperms. One plant in its life cycle, how many flowers it can produce? Many flowers, isn't it? Each flower generally has only one ovary. तो अगर एक प्लांट ने समझो लाइफ टाइम में 100 फ्लावर्स प्रोड्यूस किए थे, ऑब्वियसली इट विल बी मोर देन दिस, तो 100 ओवरीज थी. ओवरी के अंदर देयर कैन बी वन ओव्यूल और मेनी ओव्यूल. लेट अस टॉक अबाउट मेनी ओव्यूल्स बिकॉज दे आर मोर कॉमन. सो देयर आर मेनी ओव्यूल्स, देन दे विल फॉर्म एम्ब्रियो सेक, एंड ईच एम्ब्रियो सेक विल फॉर्म वन एग. तो एक प्लांट ने कितने सारे एग्स प्रोड्यूस किए, उससे कितने सारे सीड्स बने, और उससे कितने सारे प्लांट्स बन सकते हैं. सो सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन इज सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन इज a way to multiply plants in a very fast and very vast manner. Let us take some examples. Orchid, इसके fruits edible नहीं होते हैं, but one fruit can produce 4 million seeds. अब एक plant ऐसे कितने fruits produce कर सकता है? So see, one plant can achieve multiplication at such a higher level. इसी तरह से there are parasites, generally I think they are stem parasites, Aurobanchae and Striga. Aurobanchae, per plant it produces 40 fruits and each fruit produces 1200 seeds. मतलब एक प्लांट कितने सीड्स प्रोड्यूस कर सकता है? 40 into 1200. Similarly, Striga, it produces 5,000 to 85,000 seeds per plant. इसके बहुत सारे species होते हैं, so various species will produce various number of seeds. Ficus, पीपल का पेड़ आपने देखा होगा. One, it produces berries known as fig. One fig has got 750 seeds. Can you imagine 750 seeds in that small fruit? तो एक ट्री कितने सीड्स प्रोड्यूस कर सकता है? 850 बिलियन. मतलब आप एक ट्री से, एक पीपल के ट्री से 850 बिलियन ट्रीज और उगा सकते हो. So imagine the biomass multiplication that is taking place, because each seed is going to become such a huge tree. So that is why sexual reproduction is a very effective mode of propagation.